hold on. Okay, start recording, and here we go.
Totally not live.
Okay, right.
Totally random.
Go ahead.
All right. Hi, I'm Franz. Concrete 5. This is Andy.
Hey.
The telephone. This is Katz from Concrete 5 Japan.
Hey, Katz.
And my phone is ringing, but
Your phone is ringing.
I just mute it. I just mute it. Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Katz. And oh shit, I did something wrong. I did something wrong. I put the wrong title.
Professionalism.
But okay, this is it. All right, yeah, I'm good.
Don't seem that loud. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm Franz. This is Totally Random. Very, very live. It's our 7th episode of doing Totally Random, our weekly news show on Concrete 5. Our good friend Katz is here from Concrete 5 Japan, visiting us, doing some live shows. We're doing one now, and then another one at 8 o'clock tonight, our time. I don't know what time that is for you, because you could be anywhere, and that's awesome. So let's jump right into the news and just get that out of the way before we spend the rest of the hour answering your questions. It's been 2 weeks since we did this, so a number of really great looking sites have gone up in the showcase. One of them is fireflyaccessories.co.uk. It is a Concrete 5 site that uses our e-commerce add-on, and it's a very attractive site. They sell accessories, bags, cool necklaces and stuff. You should definitely check it out. It's very pretty to look at. Another great looking site that was just submitted to the showcase is genomebc.ca. It is a non-profit research and investment group for genomics and proteomics.
Man.
Proteomics, as I understand it, is it's next generation genomics. So it's like combining genomes and proteins to do weird things to fish. But they have a beautiful looking website, and it looks like it's cool stuff. So definitely worth checking out. It would really help if you guys kept submitting your showcase sites. When we first launched the showcase, we saw a lot of activity there. And now it's kind of trickled down to a couple a day. You know, no one submits anything on the weekend, and you know, that's cool. But there's a lot of great looking stuff out there, and if you don't submit it to the showcase, then it's very difficult for other people to kind of see what you can do with Concrete 5. So it's not just an easy opportunity to get some great SEO traffic for you guys. It really helps the project. There's so many different content management systems out there that everyone's evaluation process seems to start with, well, what can you build with this thing? So really, you know, we've got almost 10,000 sites that have connected to the community, but we don't have 10,000 sites in the showcase. So I'd love to see that changed. We just relaunched concrete5.org. You may have noticed if you visited us yesterday that there was a little blip in our availability as we moved over. Not a lot has probably changed to what you guys can see, but we are on a completely new server that, well, I don't know, like at least 2 or 3 times more powerful.
Yeah, it's beefy.
Oodles of memory and lots of hard drive storage. You have filled up our hard drive with attachments. So we had to move. There's nothing we could do about it. So thank you for putting up with us while we moved for an hour yesterday. There is a new bug tracker. We had kind of archived our bug tracker because it was just so out of date, and it was just a nightmare for us to actually manage the bug tracker. Bugs were being fixed, but we just, you know, there's only so much time in the day, and we just couldn't bring ourselves to go back to the bugs and close them. And so now the bug tracker works much better. We just kind of re-architected it so it's more community-driven, and like everything that has worked really well with concrete5.org, you know, for example, the peer-reviewed process for Marketplace add-ons, as soon as we open it up and really let the community say, yeah, this is a great add-on, you should launch it, or in this case, yes, this is a valid bug, I was able to recreate it on my system, it's much, much easier for our small team to spend the time actually fixing the stuff. So you can find that under developers, check it out, go ahead and submit real bugs for 5406? 5405?
5405.
And we will make sure they get resolved and they will close out. A couple of other features kind of added to concrete5.org behind the scenes. But if you're an add-on developer, you'll notice if you dig deep that you can now grant a license to someone for free. So a lot of people have been asking, are you going to do bulk license discounts or some type of affiliate or reseller? It's just, there's too many different people selling too many different kinds of things to too many different types of customers in our marketplace for us to standardize that. So the solution that we came up with is, look, if you're a third-party developer selling stuff in our marketplace and you want to do a deal with your customers where if they buy 10 copies of something, they get one for free or what have you, you now have the tools to grant them a license through our site. So you can still use concrete5.org and connect to the community and do your installing and all those kind of nice features. But you don't have to have your clients pay for add-ons again if they've already purchased them or what have you. So you can find that if you go into your Manage My Add-ons section from the My Account. There in the upper right-hand corner, there's a grant license link. And go ahead and use that if you need to. A whole bunch of add-ons were approved in the last 2 weeks, 16 of them. Well, let's see, I'll just quickly go through the list. I don't have any cool bubble of screenshots next to me, so I'm not going to take too much time. But you know where the marketplace is, so feel free to go check out any that are exciting and interesting to you. Simple Note and Simple Quote both launched. They are easy ways to add stylized, you guessed it, notes and quotes to a page. They look really good, and it's just a really handy way for someone to manage that content. A new pictures gallery was launched, flash-based gallery with a lot of options. An accordion menu for the auto nav. I think it's a custom template or two that gives you an accordion.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, a lot of those interact with the layouts tool that we added in 5.4 for a lot of.
That's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll Do It pledge add-on, so you can set up a cause on a page and then people can pledge to help with the cause. Dojo Testimonial gives you an elegant speech bubble and an interface for managed testimonials on your site. The Google Tag Cloud uses analytics data from Google to build a tag cloud on your site. Easy Tabs is one of the things Andy was talking about, uses the new layout stuff that is in the latest version of Concrete 5 to give you a tabs interface. The Dojo page filter, I believe, uses custom attributes in the image type?
Yeah, custom attributes and a custom page list template and a custom block to kind of set up a really nice Ajax-y way to sort of dynamically show pages on a given page.
So list pages beneath,
Yeah,
but use
with
thumbnails to
thumbnails
list them, so a little bit more visual.
Yeah, it's nice.
So that's worth checking out. Tables and CSV displayer, both ways to import a lot of data and then display it with varying degrees of control on your site as a block. Font scaler is the buttons that you often see on like college sites or sites with ADA concerns where you can change the type size using CSS just by an easy click. The Easy Accordion Nav, which I think is what you were talking about, uses layouts to build an accordion navigation. The extended Google Map allows you to throw a Google Map on your page, but actually add multiple locations through the block editing interface. And two new themes, Grunge Columns theme and Creativity theme. So a lot of submissions, and it's been a pleasure to review them, and it's great to see the marketplace continue to grow that way. If you guys are building stuff and you're willing and eager to support it and make it a great experience for an end site owner that doesn't have any PHP experience but wants to run a site and could use some functionality, submit your stuff to the marketplace. The peer review board does a great job of not just poking holes but kind of helping people find the right path, and it's great to see the activity increase in there. One new how-to added to the documentation section, an SEO redirect page path, so you always have that, or never have the trailing slash at the end.
You never have it.
SEO
There's
people
no
like that.
There'd be only one way to get to the path version of your page, rather than sort of Concrete lets you use one with an ending slash and without. So,
and that came from our community.
Yeah, it came from David Merv.
Thank you, David. We appreciate that.
What?
He's watching.
Nice.
Good work. Community continues to grow. Visits are up 2% over the last 2 weeks from where they were a month ago. Nice. We had over 50,000 visits in the last 2 weeks. We just passed 25,000 members in the community, I think today, so that's exciting.
Yeah, today.
Yay. And we doled out 171 karma points over the last 2 weeks. And really no point in taking a field trip today. This is more than exciting enough of a journey for us.
Katz took a field trip.
Katz took a
Field trip to Portland.
This is the field trip. And so we have 3 Karma winners. Every one of the 3 Karma winners is winning a e-commerce license, so you can play with that or use it on a commercial site or whatever. And Andy, do you know who those winners are?
Yeah, they are Remo, Sinlag, and David Merv.
Good job, guys. You'll get your license with our awesome new grant license feature shortly.
Nice.
And that's it. I'm done with the news. That's the news that I have in Portland, Oregon. It's hot here. It's been cool for quite some time, but now it's hot. And that's nice. So we're just going to sit here and stare at the camera and sweat. And Katz is going to look at this stream and start asking us questions. If you post a question, which you can do a lot of different ways, right?
Open up the laptop.
Oh, we're going to look at the stream. Andy's going to look at the stream. But if you post a question and we answer it, we will give you an add-on license of your choice. E-commerce, forums. If we built it, it's a Concrete 5 add-on, you can have it. So ask a good question and tell me what you want, and as long as I feel like answering your question, you'll get it.
Can I make a quick announcement from the Japanese community?
Please make all of your announcements.
I mean, you know, I'm not really going to much for an English version, but we are going to have the Japanese version later on, like in about 6 hours. So if you are Japanese people having a hard time understanding English, we're gonna do a Japanese version in 6 hours. So then, just so you know, quickly, briefly introduce the Japanese community. We are Usagi Project. We open source group, you know, throughout Japan, and we used to make an open source SNS, social networking site like Facebook, like a software. Then we found out the Concrete 5, and I happen to be managing the Japanese, you know, version of Concrete 5. And then we are all over open source event. Like actually, I think today we are doing in Hokkaido. Actually, one of the couple guy is in Hokkaido doing attending the open source conference. And July 9th and 10th, I'll be in Kyoto. I'm also going to give the presentation at the open source conference in Kyoto. And then I'm going to be Nagoya in August. And September, I'm going to be in Tokyo and stuff. So, you know, I just wanted to meet these guys to keep updated what's going on in Japan, and also, you know, get connected. You know, it's all the time we talk online and then we never met, but sometimes it's really important to talk to, you know, meet, like come here and have
flesh.
Yeah, it's been a year since we saw you here. It's nice to have you back.
Yes. So that's the update from us, Japan, Usagi Project Concrete 5 Japan. So that's it. So did you get this? Okay.
Pick a question.
I'm here.
All right, cool. So Andrew also got the stuff up, and I should also tweet that we are actually doing live too. But we have a couple questions from the forum that I was touching. Anyway, what was it?
I'm not sure.
That was a dart.
Oh, okay. All right. So
we're gonna start throwing darts at the camera soon. Is that cool?
Sure. So let's take a look at the.
Oh, we got all sorts of questions in here.
Yeah, question from. I have to load the web page. Oh, by the way, first.
We're definitely getting to that question.
That's an awesome question.
What?
541.
When is 541 going to be released? Soon. Not late. Not tomorrow. No, I mean, you should get 541 out of Subversion and beat it up as hard as you can. We really need that to happen before we can release it. There's a couple more things that we're going to add to it, but we're not really looking to add huge features to 5.4.1 release.
No, we're not.
So there's a couple of cosmetic things that I kind of need in there, just like, hey, we should flip this around to work that way kind of stuff. But we know, there's some corners to poke at, so the more testing, the better. Are we launching a new bug tracker for just the beta version? Or just do that in the forums?
We're kind of kicking it around. I think probably we will. I think that's probably a good idea, just because.
Maybe we'll do that right after this.
Yeah, because it's easier for the main bug tracker to contain only the versions that we really officially release, but it'll be nice for us to be able to get the same sort of crowdsourced verification of bugs for our beta versions as well. So
I would say, if I had to put a firm line in the sand, I would say some point in July, we should be launching 5.4.1.
And there will be a number of bug fixes as well as some of the feature-y updates that we've already started talking about. So should make everyone's lives a bit easier.
There you go. Good question. It's full flavor, right? I think I saw that over your shoulder.
Oh, I've seen, yeah. What's happening here?
So how about the multilingual support?
Multilingual support. In terms of interface or content? Or both?
Well, that was the question. So
Well, we'll answer both.
Yeah.
Well, we already do support multilingual in the app itself and for the add-ons. There's probably all sorts of ways we could. It's hard to catch every single instance where we could be supporting that better. So it's a constant battle.
It's a constant battle. I think that's one of those what would you like versus what can you reasonably have kind of conversations. So what I would like, for what it's worth, is I think it would be awesome if there was tools on Concrete 5 to translate stuff on a string base.
That is
right now, the people who provide translations do great work, but they have to deal with these PO files and whatnot.
Yeah, and they have to work through Subversion because there's just no better way for us to manage it right now.
You definitely have to invest a fair amount of energy up front if you want to be part of a translation. And so what we'd like to do is what Facebook did and Twitter did, where you basically just offer up a string at a time, and people can kind of crowdsource the translation. And building a pool of translation strings would be really valuable, not only for the core, but for add-on developers too. So hypothetically, we might be able to tell a developer, look, you can build your add-on using the standardized set of strings, or even submit your strings to the centralized queue for translation, and you could build an add-on in one language, and it would just work in many languages auto-magically. That's an ideal. I think there's probably a fair amount of infrastructure work that would have to go into making that happen. But that certainly is kind of our goal.
Definitely.
Running a site with content in multiple languages is, in my view, kind of a different problem altogether. And that, I think, comes down to kind of a fundamental architecture decision that I don't have a lot of experience with. I've only built a couple of multilingual sites in my time, and every time I've done it, just with the information architecture hat on, you kind of start off thinking the trees for each language are going to be exactly the same. Product is a product, and it will always have the same number of pages. But every time I've kind of gone down that road, at some point during the project, there's an extra about page for German, and the navigation has to change because all the words are too long in German, and you end up with these long sets of exceptions.
Yep.
So the challenge that we kind of scratch our heads about here is, well, how can we architect something that isn't going to kind of force you guys to hack it from the get-go? So what we've always said, and I still kind of believe it's true, is that if you're doing different languages, you need different chunks in your tree for each language. You're better off repeating whatever your architecture is, one for each language. And then the challenge becomes, how do you cross-link this stuff? So I could see us maybe making some improvements to Concrete 5 and building an add-on perhaps to make cross-linking pages automatically easier.
Yeah.
So maybe Concrete could kind of guess that, okay, it looks like you're adding the Japanese version of this product, and so I'm going to make sure that if you click the little flag in the footer, it takes you over to the English version of this page. But I don't think it's probably a great idea for us to somehow fold translations into a single CID. Like the idea of that working with versions and all the different blocks.
Attributes and everything.
Attributes, yeah, it seems problematic at best. That's where our thinking is now. I mean, like I said, I'm no expert in building multilingual sites. It's something I've only had to do a couple times. So if I'm dramatically wrong, or if there's some other path that that we don't see, you know, speak up. Good question. Who asked that? They deserve something nice.
Well, everybody kind of asks about the multilingual support too. So, but what do you see? What's the plan of the marketplace itself?
What's the plan of the marketplace?
For
Of the
multilingual.
multilingual.
Oh, for multilingual.
We've had this conversation
Yeah,
many
too.
times.
Many times.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have
We
no
just had it
official
the other day.
position on it today. There's a lot of different ways that could go. I don't know. The biggest challenge in my mind is support.
We talked about that last year
It
too.
still is the same
Yep.
challenge, yeah. You know, I think one of the things that really makes Concrete 5 stand apart from a lot of the other open source solutions, at least, is you know when you get something from the marketplace that it's going to work. And if it doesn't work, you know that there's some path that you can use to either make it work or get your money back and fix your site. So that doesn't happen, you know, hardly at all now, and I don't want to see that start happening a lot in the future. So while it's easy to get excited in kind of the abstract about, hey, look, I could build an add-on in English and, you know, it would work in 16 different languages because of this translation kind of crowdsourcing we've done, you know, that begs the question of, well, who provides support when someone in, you know, Serbia downloads my image gallery? And I'm not really sure what the answer is. So, but, you know, until we can find an answer for it, I think we'll probably be looking for kind of the path of least resistance. I know some add-on developers have already provided translation files for their add-ons, and I think if you just do that as part of your package and say, hey, this will work in English and Japanese, and, you know, one purchase buys you both, I think that's where we're at today.
Yeah.
Building a marketplace for each language or each region or country, that's a definite possibility.
Separate sites.
Separate
What you
sites.
mean, yeah.
I mean, that could easily happen. That's not what Ryan's working on right now. Yes.
Quick question about the marketplace from the thread. Would you plan to support any other payment method besides PayPal from Smart Web Project? Because of the country limitation. I think website Smart Web Project cannot really use the PayPal because of the country restriction.
No. We thought that PayPal was reasonably international friendly.
Yeah, kind of universal.
But if it's not, we're open to speaking to other things. I mean, right now we do credit card and PayPal. So I'm certainly not against taking money in different methods.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a matter of is that a service our merchant bank will offer us, and how hard is it to integrate it? But yeah, send us the links. We'll check it out.
Let's say next question. What's the HTML5? Are you guys going to incorporate HTML5?
Yeah, we've actually already started to incorporate some CSS3 features, just in terms of some more advanced styling. And it's been really nice because as we do that, it lets us cut down on page load times and use fewer hacks to kind of get some of the interface that we want. And so that's kind of nice, and it's nice to sort of experiment with what cutting-edge browsers are capable of. But in terms of HTML5, like the video tag or some of the more advanced new tags and like the local storage initiatives and things like that, we just haven't really had a lot of time to kind of look at the current state of things. But since that spec is kind of sort of settling down these days and there is momentum behind it, I imagine we'll be taking a long look at it over the coming year, definitely.
I feel like if we don't, we'd be losing a tremendous branding position.
Excellent point.
We are
See, that's
country
why
five.
you are the CEO for a reason.
Keep me around for something.
Nice.
If it's 5, come on now.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael, the question, are there any new community features that a developer will be able to hook into, display into about sites, users, etc. via PHP, JSON, XML, etc. Got it.
Chatter.
It's done. Okay.